Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. I can hear myself already. I must have Twitch on. I do. All right. I'm assuming I can be seen and heard, being that I can see and hear myself on my own Twitch channel playing in the background. Thank you so much, Skip. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming, and Arts, if you don't know, is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role playing. I am Bridgett, and tonight we are back with a special edition of the Symphony Lounge. We are back in August, and I am fresh off the road from GenCon 2024. And a lot of amazing things happened at that convention. I was talking in the development channel with Carl and Bucho, who are both admins on Symphony, and we were talking about it. It's like, yo, what if I host a lounge? And Bucho was like, yeah, why wouldn't you host a lounge? What are you doing, little girl? You should probably do that because you have a lot of things to discuss about what happened at GenCon. So here we are. There's a lot of amazing things to go over. We're going to be talking about me hosting the ENnies. We're going to talk about how I got that gig in the first place. Chaosium's massive show presence and activations, huge footprint all over Gen Con. The H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society LARP, that was a whole thing. Paid GMing, record-breaking Gen Con numbers, and more. So, before we hop into that hotness, two very quick announcements. One, Symphony Entertainment does have a Patreon. So if you like this content and you would like us to or you would like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Also, y'all already know I came back from Gen Con with swag. We're going to talk about that here in a second with my Patreon backers. But for you, dear listeners, there are two different giveaways that you can enter tonight. So you're going to be entering !GenCon, that's bang, GenCon, for an opportunity to win a copy of the Chaosium Keeper rule books, or the Keeper tips, which will be pulled out of the shrink wrap and signed by me. So that is prize number one. Or the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu dice set. So two lucky winners are going to be going home with that. You're going to enter bang, ! Again, Gen Con, to get entered into those. Guys, I can only ship to the continental US. Like, this little flimsy book would probably cost me $30 to send to Hedge overseas, because I've sent him a Pirate Board book and I looked at it, it's like, wait a second, what is going on with my life? So guys, if you're overseas, I'm so sorry I can't ship to you. However, still enter the giveaway. One thing that Hedge is absolutely amazing about is entering in the giveaway from the UK and then gifting it to somebody in the United States. So if you want to be a blessing to someone else, by all means. If I can't ship to you, you can still be a hero to somebody else. So by all means, hop on that opportunity there. So again, you're going to be entering ! Gen Con, almost Tyler, or John. It's bang. Here, I'll do it. It's that, allegedly. There we go. Look at God. We made it. The other thing is I took questions from Symphony backers. I'm also going to be addressing questions as I can in the chat. So if you have questions, by all means, feel free to throw them in there. I will do my best to address them, guys. I'm going to be reading off a copy and trying to make sure my Streamlabs doesn't crash and everything else. So I'll do my best to get to them. But like, it's not going to bother me if it's a great question and you want an answer. Feel free to post it every 5 minutes until it gets onto my radar. I'm going to see it eventually. All right, guys. Let's get this party started. So, GenCon 2024. I left for GenCon from Columbus, Ohio. It was a 3-hour drive straight to Indianapolis on Tuesday, July 30th. I winded up going with Robert Lambert. Robert, if you're watching this right now, hi, baby, I love you. Fun story about Robert. If you were at Chaosium Con 2024 in Australia, Robert was the tall white guy that was running the registration booth, the one that was running back and forth at the desk and helping guests out and getting them checked in, blah, 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 blah. Fun story about Rob is the tits. I completely agree. So fun story about Rob. Rob was the last boyfriend that I had before I realized I was asexual. So it was Rob, and I knew that I was asexual walking into that relationship. Like most people who are like trying to figure out what it is they're doing with their sexuality, I forced things that wasn't my vibe, and Rob eventually was like, you know what, babe? I just feel like we'd be better as friends. And after I got over my feelings about it, I was like, you're damn sure right. Rob is my con husband. He's one of the few people in the world that I can travel with. He's one of the few people that I can cohabitate with. And Rob is absolutely the homie. So he was a major blessing over at Chaosium Con 2024. He helped fill in at the same capacity with Chaosium for Gen Con 2024. So we get out there on Tuesday. Mostly, we just get checked in. So hotel-wise, we stay, Chaosium puts most of their staff up in the embassy suites, which is like 3 blocks outside of the convention center if you're walking, so like an 8-10 minute walk, 3 blocks outside. Or if you go interior through the skywalks, you can go through the hotel, the skywalk, the mall, a skywalk, a parking lot, a skywalk to the convention center. And that's like 15-20 minutes on a good day. On a good day. And a good day is when there's no one else there. If GenCon is on, that 15-minute walk is probably about a 40-minute walk, because this is your traffic situation. It's a real struggle. I'm going to address chafing because I have no shame, and big girl problems are a real thing with GenCon. So we'll talk about that later. So we check into the Embassy Suites. There were free drink tickets. There was free, chocolate cake. And then most of the boys were in the dealer hall getting the room set up. So they just about finished up by the time Rob and I arrived, and we decided to go down the street and go to like a local pub and get some dinner. I'm just going to show y'all this picture because what the hell? Have y'all had watermelon bruschetta before? Do y'all see this picture? This is like diced watermelon with like deliciousness and fresh mint, and the cake was not a lie. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, the footage is it's the humanity, right? So let's talk about the fact that watermelon bruschetta happened. It is amazing. I went to the grocery store today and I actually bought I actually brought the feta and the slim ricotta and the Italian bread and the watermelon. I'm gonna start making watermelon bruschetta here at the house because it was that absolutely delicious. So that was Tuesday. We go to sleep. Wednesday, the day before the con. This is setting up the entire Chaosium room, which I'm going to give you guys a tour of here in a second. The tour I'm about to give you guys for setting up the Chaosium room took us about 4 to 6 hours to do by the time you set up banners and unload stock and put things on table. But I'm going to let you guys get a quick tour of what that looks like now. Right now. I'm just kidding. I found the button. It's right here. All right, guys. We are here at GenCon2024. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what is happening in the Call of Cthulhu room, which is room 134. We've got VP of Chaosium. We've got Doc. I don't know how he keeps showing up here, but here is a sneak peek of the room. The world's best customer service agent ever, Dustin. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so we've got the Gaslight wall. That book just released here at GenCon. We have the Call of Cthulhu selfie wall, which, if you take a selfie and you hashtag stars are right, you will get entered into a drawing where you can get one of 5 prizes, which are $100 store credit at chaosium.com. Here is the room. We are going to have Horror on the Orient Express plane. We've got 10 tables lined up. It's going to be awesome, guys. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. So that was the Chaosium room. This is the first time Chaosium has had one of those massive rooms that's like, across the street from the dealer hall, where it's like this private, amazing, just exclusive space. And the blessing and a half was it was like our room, the hallway, the dealer hall, and then thank the Lord, our booth was like 2 rooms in to the dealer hall, so we could move merchandise back and forth without having to walk 80,000 miles, and that was a blessing and a half. So, fun story. This is throwing shade on me in particular because I'm the one that organized that room. Good times. I might have forgot table numbers. Table tents, the things that go on the table, that go table 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah. Forgot the fuck out of those. I really did. It was a good time. So I'm sitting in a room with Brian Holland, who's like my boss for this particular convention because he did pretty much all of these activations. I was like, yo, so about the table numbers that I forgot. He's like, how did we forget table numbers? I was like, I don't know, but we forgot table numbers. So one of the partners, Neil, walks in while we're discussing, like, what are we going to do about table numbers? Like, we want to be hood and just like write table 1 and put it on a sheet of paper. And he was like, yo, you got champagne flutes and you've got balloons. Why don't you just make table number? We'll have real table numbers next year. Balloons and champagne glasses is the best we had. And that idea wasn't even ours because we got on site and forgot. So thank you, Heather. Glad you enjoyed the balloons because that was a struggle. So anyways, Brian Holland, marketing director at Chaosium, did all these big activations. If you saw my pictures and photos on Facebook, like we were like banners in the stadium and we had QR codes on the floor and we had our room and it was super sexy. But one of the major things that made that room so incredibly delicious, and I'm going to show up a a product slideshow right now so you can get an idea of it. There was a lot of stuff that released from Chaosium specifically for Gen Con. So one, the Gaslight book landed, guys. The Gaslight book landed. The leatherette copy sold out in 3 minutes. All of the Gaslight books winded up selling out over the duration of the con. We didn't have any of those bad boys left. In addition to Gaslight, the third installment, Mountains of Madness, came out with the beginner readers book. So those Dr. Seuss books. The first one is like Call of Cthulhu, and the other one is Dagon. And then like the Mountains of Madness one came out. That is a red book that I have here. So that bad boy, I landed at Gen Con. And then there was so much merch. Okay, so you're looking at the 40th anniversary champagne flutes right there. Not the 40th anniversary. The 1924 champagne flutes that were there. We only printed 40. Those all sold out on the first day. You're looking at here, Call of Cthulhu and Chaosium baseball caps. Those were $45 a piece, guys. Those sold out in the second day. There were also these presidential t-shirts that were a great spin on, like, you know, the presidential election, where it's basically saying, like, you know, vote for Cthulhu and things of that nature. Those sold out completely by, I think it was by Friday, we only had size medium, and by Saturday, we were completely sold out, and those were completely gone. Those little leather Gaslight journals, bam, those were gone within hours. They didn't make it long. There goes one of the Call of Cthulhu shirts. There were 2 different models of that one. And then there were also water tumblers that were really nice. Those made it Thursday, Friday, and I think by the end of Friday, those were completely gone. And then the last thing they had is, you guys remember last year, Chaosium put out the BRP playmats? Well, this year it was the Berlin playmats, which were black and just sexy and stunning, and those sold out. I think those were gone Friday as well. So lots of new, delicious, amazing merch that ran off of the shelves at Gen Con. Now, we were vending in 2 different places. So we had the booth, which was its own giant that I didn't bother with at all. I walked by and said hi twice, and that was the best they got from me at the booth. But we were also vending in this room that we had that was kind of cool, kind of smart. Here's some heads up, FYIs. That room opens earlier than the dealer hall, and it stayed open later than the dealer hall. So if you were trying to catch something, like versus going through this crowd I'm getting ready to show you the video of and fighting with 70,000 people to get into the dealer hall, you could have just slid over to 134 and got the Gaslight book there. Some stuff was only in the dealer hall, but just FYI for next year, if we keep the same hours in the room that we did, because chances are we will, because we were running games out of that room, and games run longer, earlier, and later than the dealer hall, chances are you're going to be able to get some stuff or go shopping after the dealer hall. Just a quick hack. So those were some of the amazing things that happened with setup when we set up the room on Wednesday. The other thing that happened Wednesday night, and I will show you guys this really fast. I started hosting this last year, my first year at Gen Con, and we repeated it this year. One of the facets at my job at Chaosium is running the Cult of Chaos program, which is an organized play program where our GMs get together and they run Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Pendragon, 7th Sea, and they get shipped out all over to online conventions, local gaming stores, cons, and they get store credit for running games for us. So we hosted a pizza party again, and it was absolutely amazing. I think I told the pizza place we was going to have like 25 people. It was like 50. Listen, send thoughts and prayers. We had enough pizza to go around. So, winning. So, next year, expect the same. The day before the con, we're probably going to be hosting a pizza party. So, come get some free pizza, buy your own drinks, and then, you know, kind of live your truth. So, that was Wednesday night. We've set up the room. Everything's very exciting. Pizza party. Sleep. Then Gen Con begins. Let's talk about what Gen Con looks like. Let's talk about the fact that games started going off in the Chaosium room at 9, which means people started lining up around 8:30, and the dealer hall opens at 10. I'm going to show you guys a quick video, and I'm going to show you a longer video. I witnessed this for the first time, GenCon2023, what a massive flood of people looks like when they're all contained in one space, and it's interesting. So, they stalled the elevators, or the escalators. I climbed up backwards up a set of escalators. I found a corner that I could hide in, and I opened up my phone. This was my first view.
All I want is dice. I just want some dice.
Look at all these people.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. That's one view. Let's talk about what it looks like right now when the dealer room actually opens. Brace yourselves. This is a lot. Y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Y'all didn't see that. Let's look at it one more time. Just a little bit. I ain't got to play the whole video. I just want y'all to see that one more time. That's intense, right? That's a lot of people. I want you to know, and let me see if I have a still photo of that. I don't. I just have that. I just want you to know that's one hallway. That goes around. There was shit behind us. That was one hallway. There was 2 more that you guys missed. Did y'all see that? So from what I read, and Heather, you let me know if I'm wrong, I think it was 70,000 people at GenCon. It sold out all days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sold out. 70,000 people. Indianapolis, 71,000. Thank you so much. 71,000 people. They effectively move a city into that convention center in that space for 4 days, guys. Walking into that dealer hall or watching people flood into that dealer hall, that's a whole vibe and that's a whole experience. And I cannot articulate the charge, the electricity, the overwhelm, and the oh my God that accompanies that. It is hella intense. So after I let all that flood in, I let that take about 10, 15 minutes. And suddenly the halls, you could walk down the hallways again because all them people were back in the dealer hall fighting to get to the booth to get whatever deal or whatever exclusive or whatever they were trying to do. God bless them. Send thoughts and prayers. I wish everyone luck with that. So let's talk about games on Thursday. So we had, I think I wound up having 14 GMs integrated into the Cult of Chaos program or recruited to run games at GenCon. And their comp was this. This is what the GMs got for running at GenCon. They got a free t-shirt. If they ran 12 hours or more, they got a free badge from Chaosium. For every event that they ran, they got $10 in store credit. And then they got $10 an hour per game run. So that was the entire comp package. This is the first time, to my knowledge, that Chaosium has ever paid GMs to run games. And let's be super transparent, guys. Paid GMing, that is becoming a norm as we navigate this new space and this new ecosystem in gaming. A lot of your gaming clubs are paying their GMs. Lurking Fears is paying their GMs. Limithron is paying. A lot of people are paying like in booths. Like it's one of those things like back in the day, and I want to say back in the day, it's like 2 years ago, GMs were volunteering their time to run games for the love of the game. And then as we have evolved and GMs became more necessary and the ecosystem shifted, you're seeing more and more people charging for their time. Symphony doesn't go to a convention typically unless I'm doing an upcharge because I have fees associated with running this business, and upcharging on my tickets is a lot of how I recuperate some of my loss. And I know people have very strong opinions one way or the other, and I'm not saying any of your opinions are valid or not valid. I am telling you right now, if you're looking at the market the way it is, paid GMing is a thing. And one of the ways companies, publishers, groups, clubs can afford to pay their GMs is by forwarding that cost to the gamer who sits down at the table, which is why you're going to start seeing more upcharges per ticket. That was a real common thing at Origins. If you were at Origins this year, you saw it. Like they increased the badge rate just to say, oh, everything is inclusive. And then this trend started happening. And now it's like high badge price plus we're charging per event. And I'm not drawing a line in the sand any direction because I understand that more fees associated with gaming makes it less accessible for people, and that's extremely frustrating. I also understand the mindset of a small business owner just trying to get by. Printing has fees, books has fees, travel has fees. For me to come to a convention, I'm often losing money unless I recuperate my costs in some way. And then when you look at publishers who are looking for qualified good GMs to run it, the market starts getting real funky if you're just like, hey, yeah, we'll give you a high five and a hug and say thanks for coming. Or someone else can go like, yeah, but so-and-so is paying me to run games. The culture is shifting. The conversation is shifting. It's one of those things that I'm monitoring and just kind of like along for the ride for. So that's a real thing. But that's a whole nother lounge that I'll probably do a whole nother conversation on. That was my quick about paid GMing. But let's talk about some of the GM talent that we have. So I'm going to show you some quick photos of a GM by the name of Utah out of Texas. His name is Utah. He came in out of Texas. Please look at Utah's setup in this room. You see this big, massive purple case? That's his GMing bag. That's his kit. His games start with full immersion surround sound like onboarding experience. All of his pre-gens are set up. They have dice trays already laid out. All of the props are like pre-set up. Look at the table stands. I forgot table numbers. Utah didn't. Look at his table. Look at his placards for his name. Like, it's absolutely stunning. The level of intentionality, care, and quality that Utah puts into his game. Like, I walked by the first time, I was just like, who is running around with a big purple chest? I'm thinking it was like a gamer. And I was like, oh, that's a GM? What's in the chest? What's in the box? Bruh. So this is just today's warning. This is just today's realization that I am underperforming in all things in life when it comes to presentation, immersion, and props. Because at no point have I elevated to that point of glory. Utah, absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. So, games going off, good times. There was something else that happened in the room 134, the Chaosium room, that I thought was amazing. I'm going to mispronounce his last name and probably his first name, but it's Luik. Believe that's how you pronounce it. He's that massive, stunning artist for Chaosium, the one that did the Arkham cover and the Berlin cover and the Gaslight cover, and then one of the new RuneQuest books. He's just absolutely stunning in all things. So he started doing the thing where he started doing doodles on the inside of people's books instead of just signing them. So if you bought the Gaslight book or Arkham book, you could walk up to Luik. He was at a table. He would flip over and he would spend 10 or 15 minutes doing some stunning piece of art on the inside of this. So you were walking away with a book, like a beautifully crafted new piece of art that was custom made for you and a signature. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because that was absolutely stunning. He made me something, which I thought I had it uploaded into Streamlabs, but I don't, but I have it hanging on my wall. Hold on. I did not ask him to make this for me, but I did a lot of running around with him, helping him around. English was like his 7th language. I love polylingual people. But so we had a lot of language barriers, and I would just go like, it's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll solve it. I'll do it. And just he and I winded up hanging out a lot on the con. So he made this for me, if you guys can see it. Absolutely free of charge. Didn't tell me it was happening. And I absolutely can't. One, you don't see a lot of big girl representation in anything. And the fact that he decided to throw up some plus size juiciness, and that's stunning. If you look at the hearts that they're throwing down, they're little bees. I mean, just good people doing good things when they see you is just one of the most stunning things in the world. Like, he handed it to me and I was struggling already with some other things. I started crying on the spot, and then he felt horrible, and then I felt horrible, and then we all did the awkward there's a person crying in me horrible thing. That was good times. But anyways, as you see, I already have it framed and hanging on my wall. He was a game changer at that con. He was just part of a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. So I wanted to shout that out. Okay. That was Thursday. Games. What are we doing? Where are you going? I'm here to sign up for a game. I don't have a ticket for a game. I don't have generics for the game. When are you doing demos? What do you mean there's no demo? Chaos. Good times. Chaos. Let's talk about Friday. Now, Friday has a few components on it. I'm going to give you guys a content warning on grief right now, and I'm going to do my best not to cry, but if I cry, fuck it. Here we are. We're going to do what we're going to do. Friday is August 2nd. This is the night that I am hosting the 24th Annual ENnies Awards. Massive moment in my career. Aside from being sent out to Australia twice as a guest of honor, this is probably like one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me, like in gaming. I wake up August 2nd. Bit of a struggle on August 2nd. August 2nd was my mom's birthday. And for people who don't know, I lost my mom Labor Day of last year. She went into liver failure GenCon 2023. and she never recovered from liver failure. She wound up dying from stage 4 cancer, lung cancer, but she went into liver failure while I was at GenCon. I remember being at the dealer hall, running out of the dealer hall, sobbing my face off because, she was in surgery and they were putting in a stent and they didn't know whether she was going to come out of, anesthesia, blah, 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 blah. And I remember anyways, GenCon 2023 was really rough. I spent a lot of that time crying or hiding in corners, talking to my brother, trying to figure out whether I need to leave, come home, blah, blah, blah. So she went into liver failure. She went into rehab, immediately went into hospice, died. So I had a lot of PTSD walking into GenCon. And of course, August 2nd, that Friday, is her first birthday gone. So I wake up, I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm trying to get my shit together. I make a sappy Facebook post. I get a lot of re-encouraging words from there. And at this point, I'm just trying to get through the day. So I wound up pulling back from my schedule pretty significantly. I didn't work the room a lot on 134. I stayed in my room because 1, I had to prep for the ENnies. 2, my grief had me rolling all over the place and I wasn't doing super well. And I knew I needed to rest because, y'all, being fat at GenCon is a thing. We need to have a conversation about chafing. And I'm not just talking about chasing up underneath your breast. That groin chafing started kicking in like hell by Friday. Remember, I got there Tuesday. So by Friday, I was already dying. I was already sore. No amount of like the cool anti-chafer shorts that they give us helped me. And no amount of anti-glide cream that I put on was helping me. So I'm in pain. My feet hurt. My lower back hurt. I'm pretty sure like the skin between my thighs has put in a 2-week notice and then left early. And I'm grieving. Whole lot of situation. So I meet a friend from my LARP from lunch. And that was very recharging and energizing and grounding. We wound up going, yes, Nate. We went to Harry and Izzy's, which is famous for their shrimp cocktail and their steak. And I had a beautiful lunch. I think it was the first hot meal I'd had since the con it started, I think. So anyways, ate lunch, went back to my room, got ready to prep for the ENnies. Now, let's talk about the ENnies. There are a few things that people have asked me about the ENnies, and there's a few things I just kind of wanted to address on the front end. So one of the questions I got was the ENnies a paid engagement? No, it was not. They don't pay you to host the ENnies, which is completely okay because, like, wow, what an incredible opportunity just from an exposure and a networking standpoint. So there were no issues with that, but I did get that question a lot, like, oh my God, how much did that gig pay you? And I was like, ENnies didn't pay me anything. The opportunity is absolutely stunning, though. The second question I get is, hey, how did you get invited to be a host for the ENnies? And the quick and dirty story, because if you watched the presentation, you heard this, but the quick and dirty story is GenCon last year, I agreed to go to GenCon. I posted it on Facebook, and Seth Skorkowski was up for Best Podcast, and H.R. Sellens was up for Best Electronic Book on the Miskatonic Repository. And they both messaged me on Facebook or Discord and was like, hey, we can't make the show. Will you stand for us at the ENnies and read our speech and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Now, mind you, I had never been to an ENnies ceremony. I had never been to GenCon. So I go to the ENnies and I'm sitting in the audience, damn near getting ready to have a panic attack, guys. It's like 400 people in this room. There's a stage, there's lights, there's camera crews, there's this whole situation. And I'm sitting up here like sitting next to Dustin going, man, I hope Seth and SR Sellens lose. I don't want them to lose because I want this moment to be big for them, but I am so afraid of going on stage and tripping and falling or looking dumb, or am I going to look fat on camera, or am I going to swear because I know I got a mouth? Like, am I going to do something I don't want to do? And then, of course, who fucking won? Seth Skorkowski, gold. Here I go. Take my happy ass up on stage. Now, the good thing is I didn't have to do a lot of talking because Seth's in his own video head. I just had to stand there and look awkward. So that's what I did. Stood on stage. I looked awkward. I took his trophy, took some pictures, went back. Hey, Andy, this is the Symphony Lounge. I'm just talking about everything that kind of happened at GenCon. So go back and sit in my seat. SR Sellens wins Best Electronic Book. Thank you so much, Heather. This one, I had to go on stage and read. So I get my happy butt back up there. I read his speech in front of all these people, like just trying not to disassociate, trying to keep my nervous system out of fight or flight. And I get through everything and it goes well, and I sit back down. Well, Stacy, the director of the ENnies, obviously was there, and she reached out to Mob, one of the owners of Chaosium, and was like, hey, Bridgett did a great job on those 2 presentations. I would love to invite her back next year to be a presenter or host or something. And Mob was like, oh, that sounds amazing. He told me, and I was like, ooh, that sounds amazing. But that was August of 2023, and I didn't hear anything for a month. I just let it go. I just let it go. Sure enough, Stacy hits me up whenever I put that Facebook post out about 2 weeks before that. It's like, hey, do you want to be a host for the ENnies in 2024? And I said yes. I said yes. I said yes. I said yes. So that's how I got the gig, if you guys are curious about how I got that gig. So how does this work? Bucho asked this question where he was like, what did you say? Open up the kilt or drop the kilt or whatever and tell us what that looks like. So the ENnies presentation is 3 hours long. You have all these categories to go through. And the only thing I was given was like the list of the nominees and the categories on the front end. I was told to keep the content PG-13 and not to read a lot of names. Just because names, just if you get one book that's nominated for one category, the names could be 15 people and it eats up a lot of time. So Stacy was like, nah, cut through the names, do name, publisher, bam, and go. I was like, all right, great. So I was like, what's my content? She's like, that's a you question. I was like, damn. So then I was like, what's my content? What's my content? Like, I've never hosted like an award ceremony of this nature. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for content. What am I going to do? And I thought about it. And I was like, what is something authentic that I can do? Because there's one thing that's true that you guys have seen in gaming, in life, in politics, anywhere you go. When something isn't authentic, you can typically tell. You can tell when something is being forced. So I was like, so what's something authentic to my character? What's something authentic to my brand? What's something that I can do? And thank the Lord, it came to me clear as day. It's like, don't make it about you. Make it about the creators. Make it about the nominees. Do what you do on Symphony all the time anyways. Do what you do with the community content program anyways. Do what you do with the Cult of Chaos program anyways. And celebrate these other people. So what I did, I reached out to all the nominees electronically and I was like, hey, send me a funny story or send me a life accomplishment or send me like a goal. Send me something and I'll use that to flush out my content and kind of make it work on stage. So that's what I did. I had an opening speech and then I had a note card. It was on my phone, I think. Just numbered 1 through like 20 or whatever it was, and just fun information about the nominees. So I go to ENnies. It starts, and everything is going great. Opening speech went well. Thank God the crowd was with me, sitting at the front row. They let me reserve seats for Chaosium, and Free League was there, and Imagining Games was there. Doug was there. Like it was just. The crowd was with me. Black Oak Games was there. It was just, or Workshop was there. It was good. It was going well. It was doing great. I'm on fire. We're having fun. We're moving at a good time. Bow, 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 bow. And then an award comes up, and I don't remember the category. I just remember the winner. It was for Monstrous. Monstrous. That's the name of the book. And a family comes up. I think they're a family. This group of 3 people comes up. And a woman takes to the mic, and she shares a story that the lead writer of Monstrous had passed away February or March of earlier that year. And that it was really hard for them to navigate to GenCon. It was very difficult for them to navigate the nomination. It was very difficult for them to navigate everything because they were all grieving. And effectively what she did was she almost gave a eulogy, but in this stunning, beautiful, transparent, heartbreaking way. It was absolutely stunning. The video just populated where you can watch the ENnies if you want to go back and watch them. It was right before intermission, and it was stunning. She starts crying, reasonably so. The 2 people with her start crying, reasonably so, and I'm 15 feet away from them. And I'm grieving already. I start crying. And if grief were a palpable thing, her speech ran through the crowd. So many people were upset. So many people were crying. So many people were moved. So many people were touched. So I hugged this group of people on the way off their stage. And at this point, I'm washed out because I'm doing everything I can not to like heavy sob right now because I'm empathizing with their grief. It's my mom's birthday, and it's just everything hit. That all hit terribly, beautifully, but it just hit terribly. So I managed to get back up to the mic, and thank God I had I didn't have to present anymore after that. Before intermission, I could hand it off to another presenter. Got off the stage, lost my shit, completely lost my shit. And Alex Rushing, who does a lot of work with the ENnies, who is also a friend of mine from my Vampire LARP locally, appeared out of nowhere and then just held me in the corner while the awards are going on, while this woman is still getting a standing ovation for her speech. And he just kind of like held me, and he saw me in my grief. And it was exactly what I needed because I hadn't been sitting with my griefs because I was so focused on I got to get through GenCon, I got to get through the ENnies, I got to get through this LARP, I got to get through. And I was just pushing so hard just to get through that I was refusing to sit with my shit. And then it all, like, the whole rug got pulled out from underneath me. So Alex sat with me. Go down the hallway, I'm still crying. Go into the hall, the other hallway, I'm still crying. I'm trying to get to the bathroom. And then the head of sales, Janelle from Chaosium, beelines me, and she pulls me into, like, the best hug ever. And I had my full meltdown. I got some water, got back in, finished the ENnies. Beautiful ceremony, beautiful time. I hope they invite me back next year to at least be a presenter, because I love the energy in that room. I love the gratitude, and I love what the ENnies represents, because so many of us as creators don't feel recognized or heard or seen or appreciated for our craft. So many of us finish things but are afraid to share them. So many of us are afraid to even finish things. So many of us wonder whether our creativity or whether our art even matters. And the ENnies is just one of those entities and one of those environments that is very reaffirming to say, yes, other people enjoy your stuff. Yes, please keep creating. Yes, you matter. Absolutely stunning across the board. Absolutely stunning across the board. Absolutely stunning. Yes, Heather, to your point, imposter syndrome is huge and so real. And the ENnies is just a beautiful environment for you to get a hug of affirmation from the people around you, and from other creators around you. So absolutely stunning, and that was good. I think I was supposed to show you guys some ENnie photos that I totally forgot. That's me before I started sobbing. Good times. Yeah, I was trying to do the Lauren head swoop. I didn't succeed. Those are the judges' awards for best product, and then Wedding Games. So if you guys don't know, they send a lot of money and business my way. I'm a big fan of them. They were nominated for the ENnies. Oh, and I got an ENnie, so that was something fun. Yes, so I walked away with a gold ENnie myself. This is my second ENnie for my writing contributions in Chew, the role-playing game. I have a scenario in that book called Thigh Man. It's based on the comics Chew, and that was up for a Judges Spotlight Award. So I did walk away with a gold ENnie this year for myself, which is super amazing and super fun. I was at the end of the ceremony. Peter P from Imagining Games had his son, actually, like, he was holding his son on his arm, and actually had his son put the ENnie on me. So that was super amazing. I have someone else's ENnie sitting here that we all know and love. This is Leslie Horn's ENnie. This is Leslie's ENnie for her contributions on Cat Clay's The Well of All Fears. So that walked away with an ENnie, and I am super proud to give XP Love Cat an ENnie. I will be mailing this to you soon, Leslie. I actually just went and bought, like, all the packaging and stuff. So backers and stuff who got free stuff, I'm shipping this all tomorrow and Saturday. It's coming. Other cool thing with the ENnies, one of their major sponsors was Black Oak Workshop. You guys probably remember him from Chaosium Con. Craig Walks on Water. He gave all the presenters and all the people associated with the ENnies custom dice that you guys can kind of see right here. They're purple and they're stunning. But the cool thing is, on the D20, instead of a 20, it's a 24, because it was the 24th annual ENnies. Like, super dope, right? Just big shout out to Wedding Games. Or not Wedding Games. Big shout out to Black Oak Games, because these are really cool and they're big and they're stunning, and I'm a big fan of those. So, whoo, that was the ENnies. Saturday. Chafing. Dying. The struggle is real. Work the desk. And then, guys, it's time to talk about the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society LARP. 25 characters, 6 NPCs. It's 1923. The ball is getting ready to drop at midnight. If you couldn't tell, the entire Chaosium theme room was New Year's Eve. The ball is getting ready to drop at midnight, and there's an auction of rare artifacts, including, like, the Necronomicon and something Al-Azif and mummy wrappings, and just basically all the fun stuff that you see from, like, Call of Cthulhu's mythos is on auction right now. And all the characters are historical people, and they're all there with a budget, and they're all there to bid on stuff. And I'm just going to show you guys a quick video of this room setup. Now, remember, H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society are the award-winning prop masters. They walked away with 2 ENnies this year. Look at this room and look at the props that they brought out. All 13 lots had physical props. Check it out. All right, guys, it's going to be quick and dirty here so you can see what it looks like pre-show as we're getting ready for the LARP. And look at the fun things that they have brought for us to enjoy.
Guys, 13 of them. So I'm playing Delmonica Hodge, which is like the auctioneer. This should be super fun. Should have been at GenCon. You could be here. Be here next time.
So that was the room for the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society LARP. Again, I think it was 25 players, and they paid $75 a piece to get in this LARP. I was an NPC along with Mike Mason, Paul Fricker. Them two motherfuckers had the time of their life in the back room having their own little side plot and story, which was just those two in a situation together is pure hilarity and pure foolery, and they know it and they don't care, and it's super funny. Andrew Bean, his son Rowan were also NPCs. I was the auctioneer, the head of the host, or the host of the event, and then Mark Meir was the villain that no one knew was the villain, and he was delicious. Oh my god, he was so delicious. So we're playing the LARP, and I've already done a LARP tour. I think I had LARP photos. Did I, or was it just that? I think this is just a video of the LARP. Oh no, I got some photos again. So here's some additional photos of the LARP. So they have it set up where each of these props, like 4 or 5 props, are sitting at a table, and none of the players are allowed to touch them. The only people who can touch them are the staff members, NPCs, and they had to wear white gloves. So, like, if you wanted to hold the Necronomicon or see a page, you had to get one of us to come over with white gloves to physically pick up the book and, like, flip the pages for you, which, holy shit, was absolutely incredible. Because the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society spares no expense and they're obnoxious on everything they do, I was the auctioneer. They actually let me walk away with my own gavel and bang board. It's called a bang board. I don't know what it's called. But, guys, look at this. Look at this. They let me walk away with this one. They had this commissioned and made for my character. So I'm standing up in the top of the room going, you know, do I hear 200? Do I hear 300? Do I hear blah, 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 blah. They got me my own gavel, guys. I'm keeping that absolutely forever. If I can find a way to frame it, I'm going to do it, damn it. So the LARP was spectacular. There are things that happen in the LARP that I actually signed a real NDA that I can't talk about. But I will say this much. They outsourced certain magic tricks to make this memorable experience, and that's the best I can tell you. You had to be there to see it. You can talk to one of the players. I'm sure they can tell you what happened. I'm going to be very careful about that NDA I signed and not mention it, but I will say this much. It was pretty dope, and I'm impressed, and I learned a lot more about the legal rights to magic tricks than I thought I ever would, but here we go. Stunning LARP. A couple people asked me, one of the backer questions I got was like, what were the rules and the mechanics? None. We weren't rolling dice. Our character sheets were narrative only. We weren't throwing chops. There was no paper, rock, scissors. There was no contest. It was all a social LARP. Once shit started hitting the fan, certain characters, mostly just an NPC, had words of power that were like death, freeze, or insanity, where they could like crowd control or do some environmental BS. But other than that, there were no mechanics. We weren't throwing chops. There was nothing contested. Even the storytellers, Andrew and Sean, were NPCs in the game. So if you wanted something from a storyteller, they would have to break character and come over and see what it is you wanted and then reintegrate. Power word tickle. We're putting that in the Symphony LARP for next year. Power word tickle. We're gonna have night gaunts and they're gonna tickle people. Oh, Carl, can you write that down on the other server? Just like somewhere, so I don't forget that. Night gaunts tickle for Chaosium or Chaosium Con Symphony LARPs, because that's good shit. Yeah, so the LARP was absolutely stunning, absolutely amazing time, worth every minute. Players had a good time, rules light, incredible story. No, we didn't get to walk off with the actual props, but it was absolutely, absolutely a stunning time. So I'm looking at the time right now. I've got 15 minutes to go. I'm going to hit some of these backer questions, but I am going to read some quick stats for you guys. July 30th, I got 7 hours and 6 minutes worth of sleep. Walked 5,600 feet, or walked 5,600 steps. That's not bad, right? We're okay. We're okay. July 31st, I get 9 hours and 46 minutes of sleep. Slept my ass off that day. Walked 12,000 steps. 12,823 steps. Now, just as a reminder, I'm 300 pounds. I'm pretty active for a girl at my weight and my size, but already I'm starting to feel it. It's a situation. August 1st, 7 hours, 56 minutes of sleep. 11,638 steps. Okay. Yeah. August 2nd, 4 hours, 4 minutes of sleep. This is after I got home from the ENnies. I was wired. My grief had factory reset on myself, and that was a struggle. 13,413 steps. August 3rd, 5 hours and 4 minutes of sleep. 12,178 steps. Yes, this tracks. Dying. I remember waking up Sunday feeling... Hold on. Zoe, what are we doing? My dog's in up her, like, eating her life out right now. I remember waking up Sunday feeling blurry around the edges because the sleep deprivation and the exhaustion was so high. I remember going to bed Saturday thinking to myself, was like, I got to lose some weight because I never want to be in this much pain again. My lower back hurts, my knees hurt, and there was nothing. I was putting Neosporin at this point on the sores between my thighs. I really was. I was smart enough to bring Neosporin, but that's where I was because the chafing was so incredibly bad. I got to find a solution that's better than the glide on and the shorts that I had. Some got to give. I understand that my weight is probably one of the things that needs to give, but guys, that chafing situation is a whole situation. So if you have anti-chafing solutions, let's have a real transparent conversation about it, guys, because it is uncomfortable, it is painful, and fuck me, it is not a good time. It's just not a good time. It's a painfully not good time. So if you have solutions for this, holler at your girl, because I am all ears and I'm ready to listen. Sunday, somewhere around noon, Rob and I hit the road. We didn't stay out through the con. Remember, I'm so tired that it's bleary in the edges. We hit the road somewhere around like noon, 1 o'clock. I'm on the road for 40 minutes, and I look at Rob, and I was like, baby, I can't drive anymore. I said, I have to go. I have to pull over, and I have to sleep. That's what I did. Pulled over. Took me a 30-minute nap in the back of my car. Woke up feeling well enough to drive the Westeray home, and we got home maybe, I don't know, 4 o'clock or so on Sunday. And that was GenCon 2023. Absolutely exceptional time. Amazing experience. Hosted the ENnies, great activations from Chaosium, got my grief off, chafed my life away, and overall had an amazing con. Literally can't wait for 2025. Can't wait to jump back into it. Learned so many lessons, like table numbers and table tents. That's a great lesson to know. Learned so many administrative lessons, like dealing with Gen Cons. Like, yo, we probably need to do bar scanners for events instead of these paper tickets, because what the hell is that shit? Also, just pacing myself better than I did this year. I miss so many people. People will come into the room and be like, hi. And I'll be like, I can barely have a conversation with myself right now. Hi, love you so much. I have a line out the door of people who are trying to get seated for tables, and I have to go do this, and I have to get to this meeting, and I'm getting pulled into this meeting, but I also need to meet with them. It was chaotic. Graham Gintz sent me this message. Let me see if I can pull it up really fast on Discord, because it's absolutely worth reading, because he was absolutely accurate in this assessment. This is what Graham Gintz said about, oh God, speaking about chafing, I can still feel the discomfort underneath the bra I'm wearing right now. The struggle. Oh, come on, guys. Don't be rude your whole life. Okay. Let me see if I can find you guys what Graham Gintz told me really fast. Okay. All right. Gen Con is so hard to hang out in person. Everyone is so backed up. It's a con where everyone is there, but you never see anyone. The accuracy of that. The accuracy. All right, guys. Backer questions, and then we're going to hit this giveaway. This is from your friend Nate. How much did you miss me, and how did you find the will to carry on without me? Fucking Nate got COVID 10 minutes before he was supposed to leave the road for Gen Con. He had to cancel all his games with Limithron. He had to cancel his games with us, and which is just so heartbreaking. Nate, you were genuinely missed. I will say that much. You were genuinely missed. I was looking forward to your obnoxiousness at the ENnies. I was looking forward to antagonizing you in the room. I was looking forward to just hanging out with you even for just a minute. You were genuinely missed. How did I find the will to carry on? My hatred for you carried me through, Nate. That's what happened. Was this a comfortable, familiar Gen Con, or whoa, things have changed and this is a new Gen Con? Whoa, things have changed. This is a new Gen Con. So many massive activations with Chaosium. It was a whole new world for me, baby, because now suddenly we're watching a room that's technically a second dealer hall, and it's 71,000 people here, and oh shit, I'm hosting an ENnie. So it was the same Gen Con vibe. It was the same Gen Con speed. It was the same Gen Con walking. It was the same Gen Con energy, but it felt completely different because I was there in much different capacities this year. Did you eat any good food? Honey, Harry and Izzy's. Let's talk about it. Like, the steak is phenomenal. The salads are amazing. And the shrimp cocktails are game changing. So, if you guys haven't had the shrimp cocktails from Harry and Izzy's, they're like world known for their horseradish cocktail sauce. That if you accidentally get a piece of it on your tongue, your whole nasal cavity clears out. I mean, it's hot as shit. Oh my God, it's so hot. But it's flavorful hot and delicious hot. And I learned this from the friend that I had lunch with. Apparently, when you're dealing with peppers and things of that nature, they are some word, I think, that starts with an S. This means they're oil-based, which means the hot lingers on your tongue and it affects your palate and it fucks with the rest of your meal consumption. But horseradish, what this cocktail sauce is made out of, doesn't. Horseradish isn't whatever that word is that's oil-based. So it hits hard and then it's completely done. And it was delicious. I had it with that friend on Friday, and then Rob and I got it to go on Saturday. Right before the alarm, I just walked up the street, picked it up as a to-go. I ordered it online and brought it back. It was absolutely stunning. Did you burn your sinuses out with any cocktail sauce? Yes. The Harry and Izzy's cocktail sauce is phenomenal. And then his last question was, open that kimono. What's the prep and pre-care for the ENnies presentation? And we covered that as well. Because I'm semi-competent. And by competent, I mean incompetent. I forgot to write Bucho's questions down into my show notes here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull them out of the backer portal on Symphony. These were Bucho's questions. Did you get to watch, participate in any of the LARPs? We covered that one, so we're good to go there. If so, were you inspired by any of the mechanics or the aspects? We touched base there, so we're good. Question number 2. Most interesting booth and or game that you got to enjoy that perhaps you never heard of before? I didn't play any games, guys. I didn't play any games. I didn't run any games. I knew better. I really did. I knew I was going to be running this con. I barely got out of GenCon2023 with a voice. Ain't no way I was going to try to run no games. Like Holland was like, you going to run a VIP game? I was like, nah. He said, you want to do a signing? I was like, nah. He was like, you want to do an event? Nah. So I didn't. I worked that desk. I ran around like crazy. I did the ENnies. I did the LARP. That was the extent of my social capacity. Outside of that, it was nah. Yes, nah. Creators you most wanted to talk to but didn't get a chance for whatever reason. So while I was there, I got to spend 10 or 15 minutes hanging out with Paula Demi, and that was amazing. She is stunning. So I was able to hang out with her for a little bit. The one person I wanted to hang out with or at least hug that I didn't get a chance was Becca Scott. She ran a LARP in the room on Friday, but I was over at the ENnies and it just didn't work where I could catch up with her. And she was doing live shows and signings and back and forth. And it's just, I wanted a chance to just hug Becca and just tell her thank you for everything, for having me on the Calyx, for being so supportive when I launched Symphony. She was I actually interviewed Becca on like, hey, how do I stream and do better about Symphony? How do I launch? What are the things I need to look out for? And like, she actually got on a phone call with me and was like, all right, babe, here's what you need. Becca is such a human being. I wanted a chance to hug her and I didn't get a chance to. New backer questions. What's the one thing you wish you could have done? Oh, Heather. I wish I could have gone to the food trucks. I love food trucks. I'm a food truck hoe. And I couldn't walk that far. I couldn't. My thighs were screaming. So I wish I could have done the food trucks. I wish I could have gone to Lucas Oil Stadium and seen that in person. I didn't. It was too far of a walk, so I didn't. I just didn't have it to do. I would have liked to play a game, any game. I just know I wouldn't have had the bandwidth. I wouldn't have had the attention or the bandwidth with as fast as I was running, as far as I was running, as much as I was doing. I just wouldn't have had an opportunity to do there. What's one thing you wish you could have done? I think those are probably the things off the top of my head. If I had to look back, I wish I would have gone through the dealer hall in that extra hour where exhibitors were allowed in and you could walk the entire dealer hall without having 70,000 people around you. I never did walk the dealer hall, guys. I didn't go through the dealer hall not one time. I made it to the Chaosium booth. I took my ass back out. I went to the Chaosium booth and I took my ass back out. I went to the Chaosium booth and I took my ass right back out. I didn't walk the entire dealer hall. I did that once in 2023 and was like, nah, never again with people. It's too many people. It's too many people. And people stop abruptly and people are rude and people don't have any lives together. And I feel so bad for the poor vendors and it's loud and I couldn't do it. But I had an exhibitor badge. I could have gone in an hour early and actually shopped and walked and spoken to vendors and hugged people and actually been able to like breathe. Whatever backer asked that question, I don't know if that was you, Heather, or whether you were copying and pasting on my behalf. Either way, thank you. I'll be intentional about doing that in 2025. and I'll probably do it on Thursday if I don't have a chafing solution, because what the favorite piece of swag, either given away for you, given away for free, or purchased by you. Bucho, I don't really have a favorite piece of swag that I walked away with. I got a lot of free shit from Chaosium as far as like, cool Cthulhu shirts and like custom made lanyards that were super dope. I got a copy of the Gaslight book. The Gaslight book is probably going to be my favorite swag. I'll give it to the Gaslight book. I was really excited to get my hands on a copy of that. Most exciting upcoming game that you got to see or play. Nope, I missed all of that too. I completely missed all of that too. No, if I were more integrated into the Gen Con experience and not working, I probably would have caught that. But nope, don't have anything there. Yep, don't have anything there. That's where I am now. Guys, if you guys don't have any more questions for me, I've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and do this damn drawing and get this party started. All right, I can do this. I haven't streamed in a while. Let me find this giveaways. All right, people. Let me move these ENnies real fast. That's such an obnoxious and funny thing to say. For the Keeper Tips book from Chaosium that is going to be signed by me. I am a contributor of this book. That winner is going to be... Dun, 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 dun. I don't remember the button to push. God, I'm so good at streaming. Y'all see this shit? I see that it's closed, but how do I pick a winner? Oh, winners. Ha! Is a button. All right. For the Keeper rule books, we have Carl. Congratulations, Carl. This bad boy is going to ship probably tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. So congratulations. And for the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu dice, this bad boy. Yeah, I love tips. Carl, such an ass. And for the dice, we are going with, it would be Bucho. How did Symphony's staff walk away with the prizes? You know what? You guys deserve it. Congratulations, Bucho. I will get these dice in the mail for you. Congratulations, Carl. I will get Keeper Tips in the mail for you. Guys, that was my experience at Gen Con. I can't wait for 2025. Learned a lot of lessons. Real talk. Let's get a thread going to Symphony about chafing and how we can do better about that, because Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you massively for the support. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who tuned in, or for everyone who is watching a replay. You are indeed the best part of waking up. Guys, that concludes this lounge for Symphony. We appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for everything. If you like this content, please consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. And you guys know the sign off. Chris Bates wrote it. We hope you've enjoyed the Symphony, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a wonderful night, you guys. Mwah. Y'all want to see that video of people flooding in one more time? Let's do that shit again, because it's crazy.
Oh my God.